The sun's in your face.
So I can barely see the screen, unfortunately, even though I got sunglasses on. So.
Okay, well, we're live right now, John, so take us in.
We are live. All right, folks. It's the Daily Fish Hook. What's cooking for Memorial Day weekend on the sports schedule, plus plenty of games and sports controversy. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Fish Hook. I'm John Daly, coming to you from Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. He is Eric Snyder, coming to you from Las Vegas. And also in Sin City, we have the Daily Fish Hardline with John Hardison. Guys, welcome. Happy Memorial Day. I just want to tell you, I am here in Ocean Isle Beach. I'm actually emceeing an event. It's a charity event for a local fire department, and it's called Wine and Swine. So here's the barbecue that I'm having, and it's also at Silver Coast Winery. And I know I've done some stuff here before, and so got some wine here. This new Saval that they have, and just to let's kick things off because I'd like to start with a toast to Ray Leota, one of our favorite actors who died this past week in Fish. I know you got a lot, but I think of him playing Joe Jackson in Field of Dreams. How about you? What are you thinking?
It's everyone's got someone that they love as a favorite actor, and I just got sort of clip of Ray Leota that you two put together for everyone as a remember. It's 38 seconds, so take an eye on this, Hardline.
Not a boy. $4 million. The city cops say fine. The council has not said anything, but they promise to break their silence soon with a press conference. No, son of a bitch! Will be never seen. Stay tuned.
Oh, it's phenomenal. I'll say this. You know his body of work from Field of Dreams, John, to Goodfellas, to the last thing he did was The Many Saints of Newark, which is a prequel to The Sopranos. His range was great. But you talk to people, and we both have friends in history, and say what a gentleman he was and what a mentor he was to young actors. When you hear something like that about a man in the business as long as he has, and he died in the Dominican Republic in his sleep. And I'm wondering, all those deaths recently in the Dominican Republic of people dying in the hotels because of bad, is it the air conditioning system? Because they're ruling out no foul play. It's just something's fishy. John?
Yeah, that's
lost John. Yeah, so
it's sad,
Yeah, go ahead.
What an incredible talent, we just watched that clip of Goodfellas, and even though to a certain part of that movie Joe Pesci steals it, just him being him. What a guy, what a gentleman, what a great actor Ray Leota is. He goes from being a serious actor to being a comedic actor to being a guy that just has one-off lines that are so memorable that you quote them still to this day. And it's sad that we lost him so young. That we lost him, especially he was still working. I think that's the biggest thing, even for people that are in SAG, is he was just such a consistent working actor for so long. And condolences to his family. There's not going to be another Ray Leota. I mean, just his voice, his character, his bravado is something that can't be mimicked.
No, and his death is missed in the entertainment business. But he was a better person, from what I know. I never met him. You obviously never met him, but I look at someone who's in the business or an athlete like you do, John. I don't think good people. They're a jerk off. Then okay, they died. It's horrible, but you don't get the kind of tribute on Daily Fish. So let's move on. I don't know what happened to John. He's showing him when he eats something, he usually has to do the number 2. So he's probably running.
He had to take pasta.
I got, a little bit of controversy this week. A lot of things, San Francisco Giants manager Gabe Kapler will not take the field for the national anthem in protest to shootings that happened in the horrible shooting in Uvalde, Texas. My question is, will he get the pushback that Colin Kaepernick got when he knelt during the national anthem in the NFL? And is it something we should worry about?
I think that it is. I mean, look, I respect his decision. I respect the First Amendment. I respect in this great country, especially because we're talking about Memorial Day, those that fought for our abilities to have our rights and freedoms. This is something that I give him a lot of credit for. And there was a guy 5 years ago across the bay and in the same area that was speaking about issues with Black and brown people, issues with this country that needed to be addressed. And that person was blackballed, had his career taken away, had endorsements taken away. And even though people would say it's a political talking point, there were a lot of people that backed these decisions. And there was a lot of blowback and a lot of pushback for what was going on. And Gabe Kapler, great for him to speak up and say this. The question I have is, what is the pushback? Is MLB going to support him? Are they going to do anything because he's a manager in terms of that? Are they going to come after him? Those are a lot of questions. And the biggest thing is why I speak about this so heavily on my heart, Fish, is when we talk about Colin Kaepernick back in about 2016, the question was issues involving Black and brown people. We look at what happened in Buffalo, we look at what happened in Texas, and the two people that were victims were Americans, Black and brown. Black people that were in Buffalo, brown people, Hispanics, Latinx people that were in Texas. These issues are happening. It's not going away. And even though you don't want this to disturb your football game or your baseball game, these are real life issues that people, after they get off the field, have to deal with on a daily basis. And I can only imagine even someone like Stephon Diggs, who is in Buffalo, or any of his teammates, that after the shooting that happened, that was planned, the massacre that happened in Buffalo, what it's like to just go into a store and regardless of you catching 2-3 touchdowns on Sunday, you still are an African American in this country. And that's something that you have to keep your head on a swivel about. Or even the kids, God forbid what happened in Texas, those parents that have to live with the situation that gentleman decided to do, the horrible, heinous choices that he decided to make. These are things that need to be addressed. They need to be spoken about. And I commend him. I just wonder, is he sacrificing his career, or are they going to make him sacrifice his career? And does he know what he's getting into?
Great points. All of them great points. But Colin Kaepernick was a maverick in what he did. And he knelt and everyone followed him. When you go to a baseball game, there's 9 guys in the field and every guy in the dugout. Gabe Clapper brought it out. He's actually going to get some. If you're at a baseball game, are you going to notice that Gabe Clapper wasn't standing for national anthem? No, you're watching the guys on the field. Okay. Do I think baseball pushback? I don't know. It's a great question. The problem is both Kaepernick and Kapler are doing things because they're taking a position. Gun violence. My wife's, you're an African American, you got to worry about what goes on the streets all the time. If you're African American, they didn't CNN. If you're 4 African Americans in a BMW going down the street, and there's 4 white kids in a BMW,
yeah.
It's I don't want to get political in this show, but it's just the way it is in this country. Kapler, the big issue. My wife's a school teacher. 900 mass shootings. 900 fucking mass shootings in schools since 2010. We're laughed upon the world. We have family in Australia. Not one gun violence since 1988. We're immersed in violence. We love football. It's violence. We love the UFC. It's violence.
Absolutely.
People go to hockey games to watch violence. So how do we get out of this? Do I think? Okay, let's go back to Kapler. I don't know what's going to happen, what Major League Baseball is going to do, but I do love his passion and speaking up about it. Colin Kaepernick, though, has made more money out of football than he did in football. So don't. GQ gave him a shitload of money.
No,
Nike gave him $50 million. NFL gave him $10 million to shut up. He makes $50,000 on the speaking circuit when he speaks, but he's took a position, which you're saying, and it did cost him his career. I look. We're gonna segue into this. Speaking of Colin Kaepernick, I don't know if he's going to sign with the Raiders. He had a great workout. The reports are, John, that it's not imminent. I can tell you what I'm hearing. What do you think?
You know what? It's hard. I mean, I think that people want to see him get his just desserts and be able to, to come back and play the league. But, the reality is, look, it's a young man's league. He's 34. Some time has passed. The game has passed. I'm not saying that he's still not physically in shape, but that is something to consider. And the older you get, the harder it is to find more jobs because you do have more and more young guys that are in the league that are trying to get a shot. What I will say that works in his advantage is I don't think that there's much trust in most of the backups that we have here in the Las Vegas Raiders. I think it's Derek Carr, and then the scale of talent drops off drastically.
Let me ask you a very delicate question about this. Stephen A. Smith is adamant that we should not be rooting for this guy. I saw a thing because there's a certain segment out there, people that want him to come in and compete. I heard Damian Woody, or was it Marcus Spears, say he should come in and compete with Derek Carr. We want to see him play. Okay, that's not the narrative right here. This is Derek Carr's team. If Colin Kaepernick wants to play football, I'm going to give you 3 teams he could start on right now: Atlanta, Carolina, and Seattle. All right, so coming to the Raiders, and he's got a mouth. He said, "I want to play. I want to come to a team where I can play right away." You're not beating out Derek Carr. I'm sorry. And Devontae Adams said, "I didn't come to Las Vegas to play with Colin Kaepernick." So that, I think, this is my speculation. I think they're ready to sign the guy. He's got a big mouth, okay, and that could have hurt him. And let's go back. All right, in defense of this kid, 2 years ago, the NFL workout with Hugh Jackson for this guy, he didn't show up. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he went 100 miles and did it. So there's been opportunities for him, but I think the narrative for him is his opportunity. He's made more of a headway out of football with his position and more of a leadership in the African American community. Coming back to football and standing on the sidelines and whatever he does, I'll tell you what, if he comes to the Raiders and he kneels again and it causes a problem, right? I don't know how the league's going to react to that. What do you think?
I think it just all depends on the conversation that you have, and if he's transparent and he's saying that's what he wants to do. Look, the Raiders are not an organization that's shied away from controversy, for controversial picks, from controversial individuals, and supported them. And look, for as many people that might be upset that he does kneel, there's a lot of people that are going to support him because he does, and that he has a voice, and there's a lot of jersey sales that can happen. And look, the reality is this, Fish, and you and I both said it. You're trying to get people, especially local people, in the stands. When you're at a Raiders game, there's a lot of people that are wearing other teams' colors. I mean, whether you dislike it or not, having a number 7 in silver and black makes a huge difference that fills up the stadiums every Sunday. And look, you're probably going to get a couple more games that are flexed in if he does sign, because people are going to want to see what happens.
Okay. Let me jump in on that. You hit the nail on the head. Marketing. Perfect. You and I talked about this at the bar one night. Tim Tebow was signed by the Jacksonville Jaguars last year, led the Jaguars all time in sales jerseys. Can you imagine the merchandising for Colin Kaepernick, number 7 with the Raiders, off the shelf? Mark Davis makes a fortune off that.
Yeah,
and Tim said he may play one preseason game and got cut. Here's my point. I want to move on, but here's what I think. I think Colin Kaepernick can play football still, but he's got to know. He's got to know when he comes to the Raiders, he's a backup quarterback. And there's a certain segment out there that says he should play instead of Carr. You're full of shit. You don't follow football, and you're not a Raider fan. Okay, Carr deserves that job. And like Devontae said, I would have stayed with Aaron. So would you rather play with Aaron Rodgers and he wants to play with Derek Carr? What has Derek Carr done? Because Colin Kaepernick signed to the Raiders, he deserves a job? No. Okay, and this hard line. You follow football. Yeah. There's 3 teams he can start on right now. Okay.
He could go to Atlanta, and I think Atlanta wouldn't be a bad situation. I think Atlanta's just
Seattle.
It's a bad. He could go to Seattle, but I don't think Seattle's like that, man. Look, the amount of African Americans that make up Atlanta, and to get his message across would be great. But I think that in terms of
wait, I'm going to argue with you right now. Seattle's so left, they're so hard left, and so liberal. They don't make right turns on their cars. All right. I was talking to Brian Torson, a friend of the show, friend of ours. He's from Seattle. We're having this conversation in the bar Wednesday night, and he goes, we want Kaepernick up there. He's better than Drew Lock. He's better than Geno Smith. He's got DK Metcalf. And he's got
but if I was him too, I wouldn't want to go to a place where I'm getting blindsided all the time too. Look, Seattle's not a good team this year. Let's just be honest. So if you're out there to sell just tickets, being on a team where you're just running around trying to run for your life. You're being Charlie Brown, but I wouldn't sign with Seattle to save my life. It would be either Atlanta or it'd be Vegas. And I think, especially with his ties to UNR, I would more likely stay with Las Vegas.
Okay, if he comes to Las Vegas, I think we need to be in agreement. He's not competing with Derek Carr for the starting quarterback.
I don't think that he's going to be out Derek Carr. I think, again, he might have a Marcus Mariota type of situation where he has a couple games that he comes into place.
He's a great athlete, and again, the guy made a statement, and I really applaud that. And we'll see what happens as we move on to Gabe Kapler. Lakers hired Darvin Ham as their coach. First of all, what do you think about that? Do you think it's a good move?
You know what? Darvin's been around for a while. I mean, he was an assistant with the Lakers under Mike Brown for a couple of years. He won an NBA championship with the Detroit Pistons. So he's a player, ex-player, now coach. He's been with the Bucks for a while, especially with Budenholzer as an assistant. So he won a championship there with Giannis and Drew Holiday and with that staff over there. I think it's time. And I think that LeBron does very well. Look, anything that comes through LA, LeBron has to stamp off on, especially right now. And so with that being said, I think that having an ex-player that's a coach most definitely helps in that situation. And I think that maybe it's about relationships more than anything else. The biggest thing that I would ask with them getting Darvin Ham is, what does this look like in terms of rebuilding the team, and what free agents do you think that you can pull when you hire a head coach such as Darvin Ham? He doesn't have a lot of head coaching experience. He hasn't hit the circuit as being a head coach before, but that's not bad, because the last assistant that LeBron James took under his wing ended up winning an NBA championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers and Ty Lue, and now he's sitting down there in the other LA team right now that he just took to a Western Conference final 2 years ago. So I have a lot of respect for Darvin Ham. Interested to see, wish nothing but the best for him, but we'll see what this goes. And look, no matter what coach the Lakers are going to get, this falls on Rob Pelinka to get his shit together and rebuild and retool that roster. Because right now, Magic Johnson's looking like he was right. Yeah, 2020, you got that championship, but Rob doesn't necessarily look like he knows what the hell he's doing to a certain degree.
Yeah, but the bottom line is this: you hit the nail again. Hard line with the head and the nail on the head. This team runs through LeBron James. You made a great point about Tyronn Lue, and Darvin Ham's be the guy that's going to run everything through LeBron James. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. It did work then, but now you have a team that you're in a conference right now where Utah, Phoenix, and Golden State are all Golden State. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. He's huge. They're all younger and they're better coach. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, look, this is LeBron's last stand. So moving on. What the hell's going on? Baseball's version of the Chris Rock Will Smith slap. The Reds, Tommy Pham and Jock Peterson, the Giants, Jock Peterson. He could slap him over a fantasy football disagreement. What the hell's going on? Tell me about this, Hardline.
Man, you know what? It's something's real fishy here. So these two guys have been in the fantasy football league from the reports that are coming out. And I guess Tommy Pham is upset because, and I'm a fantasy football guy, you know this, Jock Peterson stashed players on his bench that were injured, players throughout the whole season. And
wine. Bullshit.
And so, you know what? Look, he felt like he had to address the situation. What I say all the time, though, Fish, is, and this because I think that there's something more to this. I don't know if maybe there was, some big money stakes involved or gambling involved, but the fact that Tommy Pham slapped Jock Peterson and Jock Peterson didn't even flinch, didn't even try to swing back at him, and he said violence wasn't the answer. Look, I don't know any macho alpha male that gets smacked in the face that's a major league athlete and just sits there and just says, hey, what is it? Violence isn't the answer. Most people would have cold cocked the hell out of Tommy Pham and they would have been done for the day. And the sad part is,
I heard different. I heard Jock Peterson said to Tommy Pham, "What do you hit me for? I never said you dated Jada Pinkett."
So here's the crazy part, man. They're livid. The Giants asked them to not let Pham play for the game, and they still lose the damn game to the Reds. You lost to the damn Reds. How do you get your ass beat and you lose too?
True.
That's a golly.
You are a guru when it comes to the NBA, and we couldn't. I'm so psyched that we have one series so far. Well, we had a couple, but this is the seventh game we got going on between the Celtics and the Heat, and Jimmy Butler is on fire. This kid's on fire. Great series, man. What do you see? Game 7. Give me a good prop bet. Excuse me, Hard. Give me a good prop bet and give me your prediction.
You know what? It's a coin flip again. I'm going to go with the Heat because they're going to be at home. But I think it's going to be a real close back and forth game. I'll take Jimmy Butler again over 25 points. I mean, they're going to have to need him to score over 25. He's got little to no help right now with Hero out, and I know Bam and them are trying. They struggled the last 2 games at the 3. Last night, they ended up being much better at the 3, which ended up with them getting the W. But Boston's not going anywhere. And I mean, they're going to make this difficult. They're going to make this hard on them. I think that if Miami wins, Jimmy Butler has to score at least 30 or more. If Jimmy Butler doesn't score 30 or more, they don't win this game. And we've got a Boston series. And look, from the way that Draymond is saying, we're playing Boston. We're playing Boston. That's what this is what he's saying and going to. So
Bulletin board material, buddy. Oh
So-
yeah, I like. We don't look. I like Eric Spoelstra. Don't you think he's a decent coach?
I think he's a great coach. I think, look, he's very underrated from a guy that started off as a cameraman for the Heat to win two. What do you go to? He won 2 championships, but he's been to 5. And I mean, think about that. We're talking about a head coach that's been to 5 championships, won 2. He's basically going to a championship, every 2 to 3 years since LeBron and them were right there. And I mean, look, he's doing something that, God bless his soul, the great Jerry West couldn't even do when he was a head coach.
The cursor on the winning championship on HBO. Boy, that was great. Hey, you know what? Look, we can speculate. I'll give you one question here. Who has a better chance of beating Golden State, Boston or Miami?
I would probably say Miami. I would say just based off the fact of, look, Boston's done very, very well, and those pieces have come together right now. But I trust Eric Spoelstra's coaching ability because he's been there before more than I would trust a first-year head coach that's in Boston. And look, he's a phenomenal head coach. He was an assistant with the Spurs under Greg Popovich for many, many years. The Boston Celtics have a lot of talent. The question is what Jaylen Brown are you going to get? Jason Tatum's going to be Jason Tatum, right? Robert Williams is going to be Robert Williams. But what Jaylen Brown are you going to get? Because the Jaylen Brown we saw last night fouled out. And he wasn't the Jaylen Brown that we saw the last 2 games. And so with that lack of consistency, I think I would take Miami. Before
we get to hockey, because we got a great series between the Rangers and the Hurricanes, have you seen these Hulu commercials? This kid Morant, he's going to be the kid. He plays for Memphis, right? John Morant?
Yeah, John Morant.
He does this great thing where he's on a couch, like it's like a red carpet type thing you see for Hulu. Mark my words, Mark Fishman's words on this one. This is the next superstar as far as endorsements for the NBA. He looks like he'd be a leading. He looks like he could be in the next Black Panther movie. Have you seen that commercial with him?
Yeah, know what? It's awesome. And look, Hulu is giving a lot of people commercials. Tons of people are getting commercials. And you know what? Hopefully we're up next. You know what I mean? It's like
you're the star. You're the star of the Shucks Tavern commercial.
So
what a good-looking brother. What a good, there's a famous line in Blazing Shadows. Where are the white women at? And I get it at Chuck's. I get it. Where the good-looking brother at? What's what, am I a brother? What? I did 23 in me. I have African-American blood in me. I mean, what, did you ever see me dance? Boy, I'll tell you. Watch out for the fish man on the dance floor. We go a fair together, man. Your wife's going to say, damn, shit. When did he turn? When did Soul Train get in this game? Wow. Anyways, enough of that. Rangers Hurricane. I mean, do you think the Rangers tie this up and go to a Game 7 hard?
I think they do. I mean, you know what? I think that it's a great game. It's a great series. Carolina's real stingy. They're real defensive, but it's something about the Rangers that they got going on right now. They've been playing very, very well. They've been playing more aggressive than I have seen them before. And look, I love the fact that their head coach calls them out on their shit. When they're not playing, he says, look, you guys are playing like shit. And when you're playing well, he gives them praise. And I think that's the type of coach that New York has needed for some time for them to get there.
Who's that? What did that coach sound familiar to you? Did he coach here and got kind of screwed out of a job?
I've heard that, and I've heard, they're in a new need for another head coach again here in Las Vegas for the 3rd time. They just don't stay and just, trust anything. And that's a problem. That's a huge
real quick on the Oilers and whatchamacallit. I'm sorry. On the Rangers and the Hurricane. Any good prop bets?
You know what? I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take under 6 goals this game. I just think that it's going to be a back and forth game, especially with everything that's on the line. I think it's a really heavy defensive game. I'm going to take the under on this game for the Rangers-Carolina game.
All right, buddy. Yeah, we still have a couple more subjects to go over, but this is a Daily Fish Hook. We had John on for a second, but he must be running through the vineyards to try and find a bathroom because he was eating those tacos really fast. Had some wine. It's early there. It's about 12.
Ooh, that's rough on the stomach, brother.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock there, so we'll get John back. But we're taking Memorial Day off in salute of our soldiers. and this great country that we're trying to, still live in and be happy. And we will. We always overcome. And I still believe that we are, the greatest nation on earth. And because we can have dialogue like Hardline and I are having and work it out. If you can't have dialogue and educate people, then, or at least educate, have an open mind, you're not going to get anywhere. And this is what these discussions do. We're taking Memorial Day off. We'll be back June 6th. And, we're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on the Myrtle Beach Golf Channel. We're on the DBNA Network.
Spotify.
We're Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Stitcher, iHeart, Wingding TV, and then soon, HeyVegas.tv. So we're picking up a lot of platforms here. Let me ask you this, John. The USFL ratings are very, very good for games that are played in an empty stadium every week in Birmingham, Alabama. Did you see that ESPN and Disney just gave the XFL on a 4-year deal, $250 million, that The Rock and Danny Garcia got that? Let me ask you one question and 1A. Are you shocked by that deal, Hardline? And number 2, is there enough out there for 2 football leagues in the spring? I don't think so.
Am I shocked by the deal? No. I mean, when you have someone that's tied to your league as well known as The Rock, with everything that he's put together in his career, I don't think that you can be surprised that they got this type of money, especially because it's a selling point. Is there enough for him? Yeah, I think there's enough for him. I think because you're getting after you get towards football season, depending on what type of year or what time they start their season, it's enough. Because if I'm the XFL, I'm probably looking at trying to start my season either late April, maybe beginning of May, as the NBA and NHL kind of drift off. Now we're at the dog days of summer where everybody's looking for content. There's not a lot that's going on during the summer, fall, early to the spring and summertime. It's a lot of reruns, and so having actual games outside of baseball makes something great. I would offset it if I was the XFL, where the USFL starts. Probably in the middle of that season, I would pick up just so I fall into a later time of the year. That works out for me. I think that works out, and I think you have a lot. And look, there's a lot of great players that just don't make teams. They don't make the 53-man roster, and maybe this is as what did my man say? Mike Vrabel said so poignantly a few years ago. The NFL doesn't need a farm system. We already have one. It's called the NCAA, and maybe this helps change that situation. One thing I will say, Fish, and keep this looking in mind, I'm going to call this now, going into the next couple years. I'm going to be interested to see if someone decides to leave out of high school and forego playing in the NCAA to go play at the USFL or the XFL and to see what type of contracts they go.
Okay, you talked about Mike Vrabel. The same Mike Vrabel said, I've been watching USFL, and there's 50 guys in this league right now that could play in the NFL, and some could start. You played sports. I played sports. What if you had a bad couple of practices in an NFL training camp and they cut you? But you have a ton of talent. You're seeing guys in this league. Let me go back to a timeline for you. The XFL is starting on February 18th of next year, and the USFL starts about 8 games in the XFL season, so you're going to continuation. So they overlap by a few weeks. But I just don't know if there's enough talent out there for a lot of for 2 spring leagues. But you made a great point. If these high school kids want to jump out and go play and get paid, I mean, the USFL guys are making $4,000 a week. It's good money, Yeah. They're playing 10 weeks in playoffs, and they're all holed up in that in the Hilton, whatever, in Birmingham. So they're not playing, they're not spending anything. They get fed, and they go locally bowling, what have you. So you make money. It's really a showcase. So. I don't know.
I mean, it's a better.
I'm a football junkie. So are you. I'm watching these playoffs right now. You're right. It'd be neat. You should really do. If you could, it's too hot. If you can get a football league, forget February, April, May, and if you start a football league in June, when the NBA and the NHL ends, you can go June and July. That would be epic. And play them in all domes, because then we're so starved for football. We haven't had football since the Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? Do you agree with me?
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with you.
You go right into June and July to 10 weeks. You go right into the NFL.
And look, the glory of going to play for those teams, of everything that you said. Plus, the fact is, you could buy your team, and Nick Saban won't get pissed off at you. He won't throw you underneath the bus.
What do you got going on for Memorial Day? What are you doing?
You know what? We're gonna barbecue. We're gonna enjoy our family and friends. We're gonna take some time off. Luckily, I don't have to work on Memorial Day. I'm taking that day for me. So it's me and the family, and that's what I'm excited for, man. And just thank those who have put their lives on the line for everything. My dad was a Vietnam vet. God bless his soul. So it's a day of remembering him as well.
Yeah, well, your dad's a hero. Anyone that's done that for our country is a hero. And he raised a great son in you. Thank you for the invite to your house. It's what do you think this is? What was the movie with Samuel L. Jackson and Matthew McConaughey? What's the white boy doing here? I bought a pie. I guarantee you that food at your house is gonna be great. Doing the same thing. We're having a barbecue at the house. You're welcome to come over with your wife. My granddaughter's coming over. It's always a great holidays. Always a great, to me, that and July 4th are great because to celebrate this country and for all the problems we talked about in this country, we're still able to have a podcast and express our ideas and our politics and our opinions, and we don't have someone shutting us down, And
absolutely.
And it's days like this when you get the family together and you have a couple of adult beverages, put a baseball game on or the NBA, hopefully. Is there an NBA game on? I should know this, but I don't.
No NBA game today because the Warriors finished up. So they're just waiting until Miami finishes, and I believe Miami finishes on Sunday. Please, Sunday.
We don't have a game. We don't have a Memorial Day NBA game. So basically, the Major League Baseball has a spotlight in the sporting world this coming Monday. Good,
And you know what? I want to give as much as we talk about Major League Baseball and some of their faults that they have going on. The one thing I want to give them is whoever their marketing team is in terms of these jerseys, congratulations. You guys are hitting it, knocking it out of the park. A lot of these alternative jerseys, I'm falling in love with them. I'm like, these need to be the regular everyday jerseys. Don't just do them once a year. I mean, make it something special. Make it something great. And one thing that we did talk about, Fisher, I just want to hit on real quick. Thank you, Roger Goodell. I want to thank Roger Goodell for having this conversation about canceling the Pro Bowl and making it either an exhibition game or making it something in terms of just a skills competition, because this has been the last Pro Bowls have been the shittiest things I've seen in a long time.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing. I mean, terrible. I mean, and I know guys don't want to get injured.
You know what? I know you're getting 40,000. You're getting 40,000 a player. That's great. You go to Las Vegas, we're going to play the game. Did you watch the last Pro Bowl here when?
Oh yeah, I saw. You mean the tackle football?
Jonathan Taylor breaks the line of scrimmage, and Micah Parsons wanted to hit him, but he couldn't, and they just blow the whistle. And I said, "This is a travesty to the game," And a lot of all, why not? You know what, Harlan? We talked about this in one of our previous Daily Fish shows. The Major League All-Star game, the home run derby gets better ratings than the All-Star game. Yeah. Believe it or not, in the NBA All-Star game, which is 175 to 170, the three-point shooting and the dunk contest are huge. Why can't why can't we do something at the NFL? Why can't we have a field goal kicking contest and give the guy who wins it money? Can Justin Tucker kick a 66-yard field goal? Maybe the guy from the Raiders, I forgot his name, Daniel Carlson, could kick. Maybe who could throw the ball to put your knees down the 20-yard line and so you could throw the ball. Like Jamarcus Russell could just put his knees down the 20-yard line and throw a football 80 yards. I want to see that.
I want to see it too. Look, all the NFL needs to do, and the patent pending, trademark pending, that we get the respect on this is all you need is a All-Star Saturday night. All you need to do is just do an All-Star Saturday night. No one cares about the game, and if you really got to play this game, make it a flag football game and do it as a celebrity tournament. So you know what? Here's the idea. All-Star Saturday night, we'll do Saturday where you do all these different things, bring it back to Vegas, we'll blow it up, do all this great stuff. And then on Sunday, you do like a rock jock, celebrities and pros flag football game where you get people to watch the game. Because it's better than what we saw the last couple Pro Bowls of people basically blowing up people and hoping they just fall down. At least if I see someone like Matthew McConaughey, or I see Cardi B, or I see someone like, I don't know, Stephen A. Smith try to catch something, at least it's interesting to me. That's better than watching Micah Parsons blow on someone.
No, yeah, exactly. It's a travesty. I got a better idea. Exactly what you said, Saturday and Sunday. How about a skills competition where you have to run a 30-yard out or a Z pattern up the field, and you have every major stripper in town has to try and tackle you, and they're in bikinis and thongs. Would that be great? How many NFL players would sign up for that?
I wonder how many NFL players are actually going to be trying to take the Pro Bowl. Oh, well, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, well, I've sat out the Pro Bowl the last couple of years, but
and I'm sitting out now. Yeah, no,
I'm not sitting out now.
Yeah, and you get all those girls get a chance to tap you. Let me tell you something. I would try and get you and I a pass to be one of those guys that would catch a ball. Would you rather catch a ball from Aaron Rodgers, or would you rather catch a ball from Aaron Rodgers running through 16 strippers that are going to try and tackle you in bikinis and thongs? I don't care about Aaron Rodgers throwing me the ball. I care about getting tackled.
I'll catch the pass from Aaron Rodgers because I don't want to clean off what's ever coming off of that ball through the 16 strippers.
Yeah. I love what you said last week. It's always great watching Aaron Rodgers because they always make it and they fail in the playoffs. So before we go, I want to ask you. I want you to give me on the top of your head. I'll give you mine. 2 teams, one in each conference that didn't make the playoffs last year. That are you're my handicapper. Surefire pick to make the playoffs this year in the NFL. Each conference. You go first. I'll go first here if you want to think about it.
Go ahead. Go first.
Okay. Don't laugh. Okay. I think the New Orleans Saints are going to make the playoffs in one of those seats. I hear tremendous things. I'm a Jameis Winston guy. I might be the only guy on the planet. And I hear from every pundit out there, the guy looks great. He's picked up this offense. Loaded defense. Okay. That's the NFC. In the AFC, this is going to hurt the background right here. I like the Raiders to make the playoffs, but I won't be shocked if the Chargers or the Broncos snuck in on one of those playoff spots. What about you?
So you know what? If I remember correctly, last year, I'm going to say the Ravens make it in the AFC. I think they got a good shot of making it this year. I think that's kind of a surefire. And the NFC, you know what? I'll be controversial because it's expanded. I'll take the Commanders. I'll take the Commanders to make the playoffs this year. Carson Wentz and Terry McLaurin will make it. We'll make it this year. When
Wouldn't it be great if they made the playoffs and Nick Foles? They just signed Nick Foles as a backup. No, they didn't. Indianapolis did. I'm sorry, Indianapolis did. So he's reunited with Frank Reich. But I remember. I'm sorry. I got to mix that. No, Nick Foles to back up the Wentz when Philadelphia went in. So all right, I'm gonna stay right there. I want to leave with this video again. A lot of people saying show Ray Leota. I want everyone to look at this laugh and make your weekend full of laughter. Okay, and I'll come back and say goodbye with Hart.
Attaboy. $4 million. The city cops say fine. Your farm sales not said anything, but they promise to break their silence soon with a press conference. No, son of a bitch! Will be never seen. Stay tuned.
Love it. Right now, he's past the pearly gates. He's doing that laugh, and St. Peter and all the apostles are laughing their ass off, saying, "When you did that scene with Pesci, wasn't it improvised?" Yeah, great stuff. Hey, buddy. We'll see you. Have a great. I'll see you at the bar, but have a great Memorial Day weekend. And then we got June 6th. We're going to hook up. John had some technical difficulties. He texted us. He said, want everyone to wish everyone a safe and happy Memorial Day. And this is the Daily Fish Hardline hookup for a Saturday. Got any last words there, Hart?
You know what?
Take us out. You take us out.
So, thank you for all the men and women that have served, everybody that's been a part of our branches of the military. Thank you, all of our fans, for continuously coming and listening. Without you, we wouldn't be here. Congratulations to John and his event. I hope it goes spectacularly well. Don't forget to stream us and watch us on everything from Wingding TV, Roku, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, any place that you get your podcast from. We are here 24/7. 24/7 for your entertainment. And if there's anything that you guys are interested in, any topics that you want to go over, please hit us at facebook.com, dailyfish, or email us at dailyfish1@gmail.com. We check our emails frequently and are always open for topics.
That was great. You got God bless you. God bless our troops. Everyone stay safe and healthy. And hey, 74 days until the Hall of Fame game, buddy. Talk to you.